Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Swagtron's Swagger 5 electric scooter. So, Swagger 5 is currently their top-of-the-line electric scooter, and it borrows many of the design elements from the super popular Xiaomi M365. This design is also the one used mostly by those scooter rental companies like Bird, Lime, whatever. This is one of the main designs, so I believe it's safe to assume that it's durable and reliable. Okay, since we are already hyped up about it, let's talk about what I like about the scooter. First of all, we already mentioned the value. This scooter offers the best value on the market because this is a familiar design. Every element is familiar. Say you're gonna need a spare, tarada, everything will be readily available for you. Even though this is an offering from Swagtron, those similar design elements help you find like a repair shop and everything. Like, this is something that people are familiar with, whereas if you go for a electric ride startup, you know that there might be some difficult things, and usually smaller companies can't reach this price level, so you are also safe on that front. Okay, let's focus on the other positives here. One of the greatest things about this scooter is that it comes with an app. The app logs, like Swagger app, I believe. Swagger app logs your trips. That's a fantastic thing because you want to know how many miles you covered. You want to know from which point to other point you went. And it also is good when you're trying to optimize your way to work or your way to your bus stop. And in general, it's fun to share those things on Instagram. At least I did that a couple of times. On a more practical point of view, this app actually offers a better indicator of your remaining battery life because the onboard indicator is great. It gives you a rough estimate, but in my experience at least, the app has been a lot more precise than the on-screen thingy, and it's also 5 levels, whereas the app gives you like remaining mileage information, even though those are dependent on many conditions like the wind, the inclination, but still, I think this is doing a great job. Another good thing about this is that the folding mechanism is almost foolproof, guys. Like, you just collapse it, there's an easy latch, and once it's collapsed, it's very solid, and you understand, like, say you let someone borrow your scooter, you know that they're not going to suffer. Once again, this is a very important thing because if especially you're making your electric scooter part of your commute, you're gonna need to put it up and down, like fold it and unfold it. So in those times, having an easy folding mechanism is always a blessing because there are some other more expensive brands out there with very tricky folding mechanisms. Another good thing about this scooter is that it actually comes with a phone mount and a bottle holder. I mean, it's good to stay hydrated, so you can put your water bottle there, and usually say you're using the app or you wanna be alert about who's calling you or not. By the way, do not take calls on your electric scooter. It's stupid. I did that, my arm still hurts. So as I mentioned earlier, the phone mount and the battery holder are coming in the package, and this is a great deal again. These things are useful, and also you may end up paying almost 50 bucks in other brands if you want even the phone mount. Some brands don't even offer the bottle holder. Another positive note about it is that there is a headlight. There are some electric scooters out there without the headlight. My kind of favorite ride these days does not offer it, but I use my phone. In any case, having it readily available there and not draining your phone's battery is a great advantage, and I would totally recommend having or buying something with a front light. I think this is a good wrap up of the positive things about it, so let's start with the negatives. And please take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm a big guy. Some of the things that I went through may not be reflected into your experience. Like, I'm big, I was driving it around, I even rode it on cobblestone, but There are some things that will not be fully transferable to your experience, but there are some things that I unfortunately think will be also the case with you. So without further delay, let's jump in and talk about the negatives. The first negative aspect for me is that the motor, 250 watt motor, is not enough. Because at its current stage, it can't even climb 2 degrees. Like, it's only on flat surface and it loses power very fast when I need to climb something. So I think 350 watts motor would be a better choice with this body, even though it's not crazy bulky, it's still a bulky design. It's also robust, but still, I think for this body, and especially if it needs to carry a weight of this size, it needs to have a more powerful engine. And I think this is the reason why Swagger 5 did not become my daily driver, is that the steering column is a bit angled. I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you during B-roll, but that angle is super annoying to me again. It takes some getting used to for everyone, and please do not forget that this is a very popular design, but this angled thing bugs me. Maybe it's because I'm 6'1", that I already have some delay when it comes to passing my commands, and because of that weird angle, I even lose further control. Again, this is a minor gripe. We're talking about 10-12 degree angle there, but still, it was something that I felt, and I thought it would be a good idea to share it with you. So if you're, say, used to a regular kick scooter, it's not going to be the same because there is sort of an angle there that kind of bugged me. I mean, I can give you my opinion that it is not something that will bug you in the long term, but definitely in your first week or two, you will notice it. I am gonna put the ground clearance in the negative things, because even though higher ground clearance and larger wheels gives you a softer ride, in my case, it was a bit off-putting. Like, it was a bit too high. I can't recall the exact wheel size now, but it's really nice and it adds a lot of comfort to your ride, especially because there's no extra suspensions on this design. It's really useful that you have larger wheels, but it puts me off because my rule is that, especially if I am, you know, cruising within the city, I would like to have the comfort of just jumping off the scooter in case of an emergency, or having this ease of mind that I can jump off. Because, you know, lower you are to the ground, you can get better torque, but because it's higher, I think that's why 250 watts motor is also suffering. So maybe a little smaller wheels would have helped with the design. But again, these are minor gripes, and if you're not as heavy as I am or not as cautious as I am when it comes to keeping your balance on the scooter, these may not be a problem for you, but it was for me and I'm sharing it with you. Let's talk about the comfort level. The comfort level is pretty good for a scooter without any suspension, but I would put it on average because it compensates with the large wheel size and everything, but the comfort usually is better when there are suspensions. But again, it is almost like those suspensions are there. So I'm glad that they did not add the suspensions there, because it would add another bulk to this body. I wouldn't be happy about that design choice, but still, I am kind of looking for a better comfort, especially if you're gonna drive it for long distances. But with that being said, I also managed to drive this on cobblestone, and I had serious issues with smaller tire sizes or even with suspensions. It doesn't matter. Cobblestone was just a killer for my all electric rides, whereas this one was able to cruise. Again, I'm not saying that it was a comfortable ride. It was super bumpy, obviously, but at least for like, what, 6-10 feet, I was able to tolerate, whereas I just get off my other electric rides. Swagger 5 offers a kickstand. Again, this should be in the positive side, but that kickstand actually leaves marks. Maybe if you clean it properly, it will not, but it's a metal stand. There is not proper like rubber attached at the tip, so it doesn't have that smooth thing, and it can even crush a wooden floor. So I would ask you to be very careful when you're parking your scooter. When you're parking it outside or you're just gonna leave it in your garage, there's no problem, just do it. The packaging mileage estimate is a bit too optimistic. I actually got contacted by Swagtron about it. And by the way, since we talked about Swagtron, the brand, which is offering Swagger 5, I would like to thank them for providing me with this demo unit. So I managed to spend enough time with it to give you this feedback video. So they actually reached out to me and said that what they say on the box is even exaggerated. So average consumer should assume that this will go 11 miles tops, but my experience was not the case. Like, I barely got 5 miles out of this. Again, I was not just climbing, but I'm a heavier guy. Still, I think if the box says 11, even someone at my size should be able to get like 7, 8, whereas my mileage with this consistently was around 5 miles, and that is so not sufficient. By the way, about the long distance travel, let me be super frank with you. I would recommend EB5 if you're going to make more than 5 miles with this thing. A, the battery may not last, and B, the comfort levels are not matching of an electric bike. The foldable electric bike offering of Swagtron is my favorite foldable electric bike of all time, and it could even be my favorite electric ride of all time, especially if I'm running around the city. Like, taking the subway is a lot easier. Of course, the carrying is a little bit more complicated than just carrying the scooter around, but again, if you're covering more than 5 miles, just go for an electric ride. Whereas if you're covering, just connecting the dots during your last mile solution, you can just go ahead and buy this one because it's affordable, it's reliable, and you know that it's a robust design that will last for more than you need. Another important gripe of mine will be the manual brake. The manual brake is great, you know, it's here on your left side, it controls the braking, but it engages a little bit later than you would think. And even though there is a fender in the back, it doesn't serve as a brake, so you can't really crush it. I kind of broke myself assuming that it would be. It's not broken, it's a solid piece of metal, but don't force it, and it really does not add up to your braking effort. So there's only one brake and it engages a little bit late, and that was an issue for me. I would warn anyone I let borrow my scooter that the brake is taking a little more time than they would expect normally. So let's wrap it up quickly. I know that I haven't been as enthusiastic about this ride as I've been, say, about EB5 or other electric rides I've featured and will probably feature in the short run, but this doesn't mean that it doesn't offer the great value. Like, when I started my review, it was being sold around $350, $400 range, and for that price range, there's none better. Like, even within Swagtron's product line, there are others, but they are more toyish, if you know what I mean. This one could effectively be used for commuting in the morning, to cover some short distances, I don't know, going around the neighborhood, going to the supermarket, or not supermarket, but maybe going to your convenience store fast and quickly if you're not gonna carry that much. Basically, as my last sentence, I'm going to say that this is the best value for the buck. If you want to go ahead and check it out, you may find a link to the product on the description page of this video. And by the way, since you're there, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in products like this, trust me, we have a connection. Just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm reviewing interesting stuff. If you're into cool electronics and some devices that are making our lives easier, just go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and obviously see you on the next one. Arrivederci.